Westworld Arena here in Scottsdale, a legendary venue for horse showing and all sports western. And this year it's home to the Cactus Classic and, more importantly, the qualifying round for this year's Run for a Million. Over 100 horses and riders from all over the world literally coming to compete in what should be a once-in-a-lifetime reining. And we're joined by our defending champion, Nathan Piper, who brings his horse Patriot back for one more try. Nathan, welcome in.
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, let's talk about that win last year in South Point in Las Vegas. I feel like your great horse Patriot, who's had such a Hall of Fame career, was maybe a little overlooked. He's probably past his prime. He's 8, 9 years old. He'll do well like he always does, but I don't know if a lot of people had him on his card to win it. And did he ever win it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. What an unbelievable night.
Now, what do you attribute the fact to? Like, if you look at Patriot's career, he was a great 3-year-old, which is a skill in and of itself. He was a great Derby horse, and he came along at the time with another great horse, a Vintage Smoke. And you and Jason Van Landingham just kind of ding-dong back and forth throughout your careers. Seems like if you didn't win a title on Patriot, a Vintage Smoke either won it or shared it with you. Did that rivalry sort of make him and you stronger as a team?
Definitely gave me the competitive edge and the experience to go show and try to be at the top of the level, you bet.
I thought it was really unique that those two great horses in that same class kind of came along at the same time. But the other thing I thought was so interesting was after that great campaign that he'd had as a futurity horse, then as a Derby horse, to come back as an older horse and actually peak last year at the Run for a Million, I don't think we've ever seen anything in our sport like that before. What do you attribute his ability to mark the highest score of his career last year that late in his career?
You know, he has an incredible mind. He is just so intelligent and so willing. I mean, from starting him in the round pen, he's never told me no. He just wants to do good, wants to be his best. You can just feel it. He loves to work, and yeah, it's a great feeling to ride one like that.
One of the things I think that's neat, you mentioned you started him in the round pen. You brought him all the way through. How well do you know this horse, Patriot, now?
Yeah, we have a pretty close relationship. You bet.
And I'm just interested, if you can point to any one thing you did or in how you prepared, what do you think were some of the biggest factors leading him to marking such a big score? I mean, it was well-deserved. He took the lid off the arena there in Las Vegas. But what do you think you did that made him so good, better than he's ever been, and he's always been great?
You know, I really don't know the answer to that. The good Lord just took care of us that night and put it all together because, you know, we had been there the year before and worked hard, and it was interesting that Monday, the day I got there, I could tell he knew something. You know, he felt special. He felt like he knew he'd been there before and he wanted to be good.
And last year was special because if you remember back 2 years ago, it was a great field of horses, but I don't know that they all had their best night. I feel like last year, every horse there showed up. I believe last place was a 221. Lowest score marked all nights, nearly 74s across the board. It was just one of those spectacular reignings, was it not?
It was. It gives me chills. I mean, all 15 or 16 of them were outstanding, huh? That was awesome.
Incredible. Now, I got to ask, what's the thought process? And I know a lot of people are surprised. You brought the great horse Patriot back here to show in the qualifier.
You bet. He loves to work. You know, I'd like for him to, if he wants to keep going, I'll keep going. When he's ready to retire, we'll retire. But
have you shown him since last year's championship at the Run for a Million? Have not. No schooling runs?
I took him to Ardmore in January and kind of schooled him around, and he's been busy in the breeding barn since, so I really couldn't afford to take him anywhere the last few months. But
so he goes straight from the breeding barn there in North Texas out here to show in the Run for a Million qualifier. It's a test of his great mind.
Yeah, yep.
How does he feel coming up to the event? You got a couple more days, cool, rainy weather here, which is a little bit of an outlier for Scottsdale, but probably great for the horses.
Yeah, for sure. It makes him feel good, and he does. He feels good. He's riding good, and we're excited to be here.
Well, you got to have a lot of confidence going in, having won it last year, but now you're back at 0. You got to crack that top 10, and I was talking with Taylor Sheridan a little earlier, you know, of that top 10, you know, there are some spots that we know are already taken. The contingent of Europeans that have come in here, they're going to grab 1 or 2 of those. Some of the great horses you look down through there. Does your mindset change at all, or are you just going to go show the horse you know so well?
You know, for me, it's icing on the cake. I mean, he's done what he needed to do to prove he's a great horse. Always felt that greatness in him, and I was so happy when it came out at the last run for the million. So, you know, it's up to the good Lord what happens this week and what happens in the future. And I'm just, you know, it's pretty, for me, I'm laid back and just ready to go horse show.
Well, that's why you're such a great trainer. I just have one more horse trainer question I want to ask you, and I know a lot of people out there would be interested to know. When a horse marks a 234.5, whatever he marked like there, what kind of prep goes into a run like that? Are you on 30 minutes before? Are you just loosening up? Do you have to sharpen anything? Or on a horse you know so well like that, what's your warm-up look like?
You know, for him, it's a pretty laid-back warm-up. I want to save it for the show pen, so I don't do a lot of maneuvers. I check my starts and I check, you know, a little bit of my slowdown, but I'm waiting and saving it for him. He's great-minded, so I want to make sure he's rested. Like this week, the cool weather helps him because he'll get tired. And so, I just have a nice warm-up, low-key, and then go in and show.
It's fantastic, and it leads to great results. I want to thank Nathan Piper for bringing his great horse, Patriot, out of, well, not even retirement. He never really stopped, but a treat to see that great horse and the defending champion back in the run for $1 million this year. We'll wish him the best of luck on Saturday's qualifier. Nathan, we hope to see you back another year this fall in Las Vegas.
Lord's willing, you bet.
All right. For Nathan Piper, I'm Steve Ross here at the Cactus Classic in Scottsdale, Arizona, where Saturday will be the home to the Run for $1 Million qualifier. Come on down, see who gets one of those 10 transfer spots.